is up, guys, and welcome to episode 2 of the Coronet build. My name is Marshall, and if you follow me on Instagram, you already know what donor car we got to use for the Coronet. If not, let me show you what we got. So since that video was shot, I have obviously made some progress on the car. I spent about the last 4 nights tearing it down. But before I go into that, this is my 2003 Ford Crown Victoria that I picked up locally for $1,800. Drove it home. It handles, drives beautifully. AC works great. Body-wise, it definitely has some rust, which I knew when I bought it. It's an Ohio car. The rockers are in rough shape. This side of the trunk is fairly rusty. However, for what I'm doing with the car, that's really not a big deal. So the plan is to be using the complete Crown Vic floor pan, stock dash and steering column, heating and AC system, stock drivetrain. So that's going to be staying the same. So what I'll be doing, the plan is at least, is to cut right along this seam and along here, back through in through the trunk, down here, along here, across the back of the trunk, and over along that side. I'm not sure how much of the floor pan in the trunk here we'll be using, so we'll just have to see how everything fits.
See
All right, so how I got to this point of teardown. I started by unbolting doors, pulling all the wiring out of the doors, unbolting hood, fenders, front bumper, and then we started cutting. Biggest issue, the biggest pain I had was right along the front of the dash, so where the windshield was. So what I did, I ended up coming from the inside of the car where the windshield was right here, went in along here with the Sawzall and simply cut the metal the whole way along there. And this is all still very rough. Took a Sawzall and then trimmed off the A-pillars here. And then along the roof section, came along, cut the B-pillars on each side, and then cut the roof section there. So we still have obviously a lot more cutting to do. But look at all this room for activities. So by using a Crown Vic chassis to do this swap versus just, let's say, swapping a V8 into the stock Coronet chassis, we get a lot of benefits from that without paying a ton of money for it. We get a modern frame, modern suspension, modern four-wheel disc brakes, V8, overdrive transmission, and this is a P71 Police Interceptor. It's an ex-cop car. So you get a few benefits with that. It's a little more horsepower. You have heavier duty suspension, some added coolers, so it's made to run longer periods of time. So that's kind of why I chose this. One difficulty I am going to run into this swap, which I already knew, is the Ford Crown Vic's 114.7-inch wheelbase. The Coronet is 123.5, which is 8.8 inches that we're going to have to make up. The Coronet's that much longer in wheelbase. So the plan is we'll be cutting the Crown Vic chassis in half, spreading it apart, adding 8.8 inches of frame rail sections in, and building a new floor filler panel. So that obviously does add some difficulty, some complexity to the build. Thankfully though, I love fabricating and welding, so it should be a fun challenge. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.
King of the road, trailer for sailor